Olivia dropped a song, and then the guy dropped a song.
Oh yeah, Joshua.
About I don't know these guys' names. So he dropped. How do you know all these names? So he dropped a song. This is how you know I'm not that informed.
Yeah,
So he
I'm in radio. Hello guys, welcome back to the Two Latin Brothers podcast, the podcast where we talk about our daily lives and entertainment, brought to you as a day-by-day comedy podcast. I'm Victor.
And I'm Adrian.
We're back at it again with another episode.
Again, late.
Again, yes, late. Our lives have been pretty busy.
Actually, your life's been really busy.
Yeah, my life has been really busy.
Your life's been really busy, and we've been trying to accommodate for that as of late, but hopefully that'll go away soon.
Yep. Soon enough.
So, yeah, that's basically it. That's all we have to say.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Okay, guys. That's been the episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy. No, okay. This whole episode's just misleading. Like, never let them know your next move. Suddenly, I'm rotating Pikachu, but I just throw him.
He's already rotated. Like, look at this. His tail's like hanging off the side here.
Oh, I don't know what you're doing.
He's falling apart. Even he can't get his act together. He's falling apart. I don't know what's going on.
Anyways,
but yeah, we've been busy. There was something I wanted to talk about on this episode, but it eludes me now.
We didn't watch The Mandalorian for this week
or last week.
We watched last week's.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
remember the whole Bo-Katan thing?
Right. I think that was last episode.
That was
okay.
The episode before this week's.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, it's a whole thing. Honestly, I think something just got in my eye. That's not helpful. We have definitely. Can we even talk about that without spoil? Like, that's kind of.
No, you can't.
So it's like
pretty much Mandalorian Manhunter, who is redeemed. Or not redeemed. With a youngling who is child who is named to not be said yet.
Okay, look, there's a moment in like episode, it's not even in The Mandalorian, in the book of Boba Fett, when he's like in Boba Fett, he's traveling, and a robot stops and he's like, you can't get on with weapons onto this like travel ship.
Oh yeah,
and he's like, but it's a part of my religion.
At which point you're like, oh shoot, he's not wrong.
I'm like, I need to get into this. Like, this guy's walking around armed. Like, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
Just like,
there's a loophole.
No, and we had this conversation. How, like, do you ever think there'll be a day where like people actually live like this?
Be like, this is my religion.
Yeah, live by this sort of creed. And then I'm like thinking about, I'm like, you know what? I can see this happening. Like, I can see a group of people getting together, and living like the Mandalorians.
I guess, yeah. In a sense,
it would be interesting though, because then like, how do you navigate that? Like, as a government?
Yeah, I know. You have the freedom to religion, but weapons is a whole other thing.
Well, I mean, there already is one where they walk around like a little dagger.
Yeah, but a dagger compared to a gun.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Right, that's a big difference.
I mean, he's got a blaster.
Still a gun.
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not gonna get. We haven't watched, as for like content. You know what else we haven't watched any anime in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, but we're behind. We're still behind 2 weeks.
Yeah, but we have. We also finally started watching The Last of Us. We talked about that last episode.
Yeah.
We haven't finished it yet, but it looks like it's getting even better.
I think we're on episode 3. Well, we just watched episode 3.
We're on episode 4.
Yeah, but we just finished watching episode 3.
I think, yeah. I don't know. I don't know where this show's gonna go.
I don't know where anything's going anymore. Like, I feel like it used to be like shows, especially because as a player of the game, because of all the memes and stuff.
Yeah.
And the way people play the game, right? Like, you have a lot of knowledge about like the storyline and the plot line of The Last of Us. Mm-hmm. Even if you haven't played the game, you've heard about the plot line because of your friends and whatnot, right? Like everybody has that group of friends that plays the game or have played the game, or I remember when it came out, like that was a big thing.
Yeah.
But I think the more like the show progresses, like little things kind of kick into the brain, and there've been certain things that have been expanded, obviously, and things that have been removed. But it's always interesting to see, like, video
It's interesting how over the years, it used to be book versus movie.
Yeah.
And it's slowly becoming game versus movie.
Right, because The Last of Us is just a game. Like, there's no book. I mean, I'm sure there's a book by now.
Probably. Like some graphic novel or something.
I mean, I don't know. But, I mean, like, The Witcher is based off of a series of books.
Yeah.
That got turned to a video game.
Yep.
And now that video game got turned to a TV show.
Yep. And then there's people who are complaining that it's not like the video game, or there's people that are complaining that it's like not like the book.
Yeah, and like it's definitely interesting to see that play out, right? The different forms of media being turned into content that could be consumed. And the other thing too is, I think when it comes to books, it's really hard to stay true to the actual book, because there's a lot of things that, like, sometimes a writer will write something down.
Yeah.
In like the first 3 pages that is entirely irrelevant.
Oh yeah.
Till like the last 5 minutes of the book.
Yeah. So like, how do I tease that?
Right. So in film, if it's a scene with a bunch of characters you've never seen before.
Yeah.
For like 5 seconds, having it like they say 3 words.
Yeah, I mean,
and then it just cuts, and then you just ignore it completely, and you move on. Like, as a filmmaker, you wouldn't put that scene there. You just cut it out, because it kind of.
Some movies do that though.
Yeah,
they do like beforehand, 170 years ago, or like
whatever,
and then they show not like a 10-second clip or 5-second clip.
Yeah,
but they show like a good almost 30-second clip, and then they're like in present day.
Like, there's a book I was reading. The first page is about some scientist guy who's doing experiments.
Yeah.
You flip the page over, and it's about these children in a house.
Yeah.
So the first page is just a description of like this lab.
Yeah.
Flip the page over, you're at like so it's if you were to start a movie like that.
Yeah.
Right. So you honestly, that page, like in film, you can rip out that page because it's totally irrelevant.
No, you can still utilize that. There's ways you can still utilize
I'm
that.
sure, yeah, but the thing is okay, so here's the thing. Okay,
it's just creativity, honestly.
So here's the thing. Okay, so that book, that page isn't relevant.
Yeah.
Till like I think like chapter 12 in the book.
It's fine.
So like as a filmmaker, you're already cutting out like 4 to 5 like this is the thing I've come to realize.
Yeah.
When you're watching certain things, you can realize what they've cut out.
Yeah.
I remember the Philosopher's Stone is a really good example of a film that was made that tried really, really hard to stay close to its source material.
Yeah.
Like the Sorcerer's Stone, like from the Harry Potter series, it's pretty dang close. Like, I mean, sure, there's a couple of things that they cut out, but it's pretty close. It's almost like you go flipping with it almost.
Yeah. Also, like, you have to remember there's a bunch of cuts that they make.
Right.
Or like scenes that are filmed and then don't end up in the movie.
Right.
So it's just making your storyboard effective.
For sure, yeah. And obviously as when you're a filmmaker, you have to be able to entertain.
Yeah.
Right. And also I think it also depends on the way you take the shot sometimes.
Yeah.
Because like there can be very boring shots.
Yeah.
But they can be turned into really great cinematic moments.
Yeah.
Just by never cutting.
See, like, and that's also the other thing with books, right? Is that sometimes something is said in the book, and you interpret it a specific way, and then the person who has to interpret it into film doesn't interpret it the way you had in mind.
Right.
So then you're like, that's not how I pictured it.
Right. It's like how people were calling Hermione Hermione or like her
Hermione?
No, yeah, from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
People weren't reading it right.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, people weren't reading it right.
Yeah.
And when the films came out, and they were like Hermione, apparently this is like an uproar. People were like, "Whoa, that's not her name."
Yeah, I know.
They're like, and then the writer came out and said, "So you guys don't know how to read? Like, is that like y'all don't know how to read?" Like, it was crazy. It was one of those things, you know, and and she created a character that became, well, actually she created a lot of characters who became kind of like almost like classical characters to our childhood.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
You know, especially He Who Must Not Be Named.
Wow.
It's it's honestly.
I love how that was memed. Like,
It's honestly the greatest thing. We live in a generation
full of memes.
No, not just that, but the level of content and there's just so much stuff coming out constantly, and it's hard to keep up.
Oh yeah, it's like yesterday. One of my friends is in the radio station has like been adding music, and he's been so on top of like listening to new stuff that comes out.
Right.
And it's just like, yo, this person just dropped like at midnight last night. I got it here. You guys want to listen to it real quick so that we can check if like it's gonna go on or not?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, this also has been out for like 3 hours, so like we're gonna listen to this now. And we're like, wow, you're really, really on top of this.
Yeah. That used to be me, but not anymore.
Yeah.
I used to be like that with music. I remember this one time. I think it was you, who or a sister who sent me something, and it was like 5 days old. I'm like, whoa! I was like, that. I'm like, I think I heard that within the first hour it came out. Yeah. It was. Yeah, crazy.
But there's also times where I send you something and it's only been out like 23 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're like, bro, like it's been 23 minutes since it came out. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, so like it's definitely been. It's because I'm not like that anymore.
Yeah.
I used to have actually I used to follow. There's a wiki page that, and I still have a bookmark, but there's a wiki page that puts the dates of every album that's gonna be released that year.
Yeah.
So I used to check it every at the first of every month.
Yeah.
So I would know what's coming out every month. So, and I don't do that anymore because I got a life. But it's very challenging. I remember when even when I was in school, so I kept up with all music, and I remember this, especially my friends would be like, "Yo, have you heard this song? It's like a week old, bad."
Yeah.
Finally playing it on the radio. Actually, I remember ironically there was this Justin Bieber song that was on the deluxe edition of his album. That. Yeah, if you got the deluxe edition, you'd heard the song.
Yeah.
Like, the album came out. It was great. People, rejoiced. And then 5 months later, he dropped that song as a single. It's all over the radio. All over the radio. I'm like, this is, like, so old. I heard this when the album came out because I got the deluxe edition of the album.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see that play out. And honestly, that was, like, before the Spotify days. That was...
Well, yeah.
And before this, Spotify kind of took over and
decided we're gonna give you all the music we can.
Yeah,
and I mean with YouTube Music now too.
True, but I think to a certain degree, Spotify kind of saved the music industry.
Saved?
Well, actually, no. The first one to save the music industry was iTunes.
Saved.
iTunes changed the way music sales were done.
I guess, yeah.
And then Spotify reinvented it.
Yeah.
Because so it's kind of like a mixture of things. But
yeah.
All right. We're gonna take a short intermission. We'll be right back.
This podcast is brought to you in part by Two Latin Brothers Podcast. You thought there wouldn't be a commercial, but there is. So make sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll see you guys right now.
And we're back.
We are back, and literally nothing has changed. We still have no idea what we're doing.
This podcast has been running for 4 years, and we still don't know what we're doing.
We still don't know what we're doing. But somehow we bring you forward content. That's why we're going to talk about this week's no, kidding.
Okay, no, just I can't even. Okay, so I wanted to bring this up.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to ask you. Okay, so there was this I don't want to say study because it really wasn't a study, but it was more like like an experiment that was done.
An experiment that was done.
Yeah.
Okay.
With a bunch of like people our age.
Okay.
And they were like asking them questions about, and they used Pokemon for this. I gotta find the video because this is a YouTube video. So we're asking them.
This is going downhill real quick.
Everything goes downhill.
Really sad study right now.
It's not a study. That's what I said. It's more like an experiment.
Okay. Really sad experiment.
So they were asking people our age, mostly my age. They were asking them if they identified with this character, and then they asked them why.
Okay.
So they showed them like a picture of Pikachu, and then everybody went my childhood, because that's how you identify with things, right? You know, like timeline, right? And then someone pulled out an Eevee, put that like a picture of an Eevee, and everyone was just cute.
Yeah.
You know. And then, but I thought it was interesting that nobody said that about Pikachu. It just went childhood. Like no one was like, "Oh, that's so cute," or whatever. You know, like it's a little rat.
I would have been that one outlier.
and then they pulled out an Eevee. They go, "Oh, that's cute." And then they pulled out
what is like a Charizard for Eevee because of its evolutions.
Yeah, and then they pulled out like a Charizard, and people were like, "Oh, it's like he's like OP or whatever."
Yeah.
So, but it was interesting to see how in our brain, how it's affected the way we view like an animated character.
Yeah.
And I think it also shows that like for us as we watch a lot of anime, how we connect to the animated character over the real life character. Yeah, let me explain. So
rephrase. I got it, but rephrase.
Okay, so the way we connect to animated characters versus actors on film.
There you go.
So the way, and this is something interesting, and then it's brought up later in the video how, for people who watch anime and animated film, for us, when we lose a character, it can be more traumatic for us because that character will literally be stopped being drawn.
Yeah.
So like, as opposed to if it's in film, with actors, that person will act another character in another film.
Yeah.
So you see the same face again.
Yeah.
Right. So it changes the way you perceive media.
Yes and no. Mainly because we tend to like to correlate not only the face of the character, but the voice.
Right. Yeah.
So we hear the voice again, so it's not like a total loss.
Right.
You know what I mean? So also a lot of characters look pretty similar sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, no one looked like Jiraiya.
He's a unique guy.
No one looked like Asuma.
He's also a unique guy.
No one looked like Neji.
Yeah.
No one looked like Itachi.
They've tried.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm getting at. Like, these are characters.
People try.
Like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's okay.
Yeah.
I forgive you.
If he just sounded like he was talking out of his,
Look at you censoring yourself.
You're welcome. Children of Americas and Canada.
Anyway. But I think I see in those situations, right?
I don't feel pain.
I know you felt pain.
Oh, I've been sad, but not pain.
I mean, it's.
I felt sorrow, but not
I
pain.
think it's strange to. Same thing with like, the way we watched Violet Evergarden.
Oh, we don't talk about that.
That. I don't know. That show cannot be like people have binged it. But I don't think it's safe.
I think it's fine to binge.
I mean,
if anything, I think it's better to binge it.
Yeah,
probably.
Because like the emotional roller coaster.
Yeah,
it's kind of intense.
Good. It's good though at the same time. Because you push yourself through that, and since everything is reoccurrent, you push yourself through that emotion, right?
I mean, I guess I don't.
You get through it in one go.
Right.
It's not like, okay, we're gonna wait a week.
It's like how see the thing. It's like your line April.
Oh,
that
one
build
too.
up to the end.
Yep.
That is just, But
if none of you know what we're talking about different anime with tragic stories.
So you should probably start writing these down. And
if you're not into anime, we just lost you.
Yeah, just start writing these down.
Yeah,
it's definitely there are definitely stories that make you feel a certain way.
Yeah,
and I mean, like, and there are shows that every episode you cry. You know what show I'm talking about?
not every episode for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a heartless. No, I'm kidding.
No, I don't know. It takes a lot to get me to.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
feel the emotion in media, and like, let's say I know if it's of real context, that does help me feel emotion, but like crying, no. Get teary sometimes.
I've definitely there are definitely films that I have cried through. There's definitely shows I've cried through. Like, I'm not ashamed to say that because it's strange to. Actually, I find it easier to cry over media than in real life.
Yeah.
Like, if I need a good cry, I know what I'm gonna watch.
I know exactly what I'm gonna watch if I want to cry.
You know, like,
Not a Walk to Remember. I have never cried watching that film.
That's definitely not the film. I've definitely not cried through it. I cried through it the first time.
Yeah.
The second time it's a little teary. You know, it's like, you know. And then I read the book, and then I understood.
Yeah.
You know, so because I was wondering, like, why
went through the stages of grief? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I wanted to understand why some people had watched it and cried.
Yeah.
So then I read the book.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's definitely one of those those movies that, you know, at first, you know, you cry, and then the second or third time you're kind of over it. You're like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. But it's definitely a tragic story, and apparently, and I don't know if this is true, but apparently, that whole book is based off one of the author's friends. Like, this happened to him.
Oh yeah. We've discussed this on.
Have we? I don't know if we have or not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so this happened to some guy, right? So I mean, it's even more like when you know the backstory. It's like, oh man, this real pain.
Yeah.
That's what this is. So, and it's coming from a place of real pain.
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously there are many people, many authors who write based on their pain.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so, and the same thing with music. Like, a lot of music.
It's actually easier to convey emotion with music, I find.
Right, yeah.
Because it's in that moment, right? Yeah. Whatever the artist is feeling in that moment is what they're writing.
Right, yeah, for sure.
Even if they're super, super happy, that little bit of sadness can seep through and they end up releasing a sad song.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, even if they're super sad, but they still have a glimpse of happiness, they can write a happy song. Which makes them happy.
There are some artists who have released songs on their album that's just so far away, so removed from like the rest of the album.
Oh yeah.
Because of that one day they went into the studio depressed.
Oh yeah.
So it's like it also goes to show how one's mood can change your art.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that, but it's also allowing yourself to be vulnerable in that moment.
Oh yeah.
Like, as an artist.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then lyrically, like, some artists have put other people on blast through their lyrics because we all know who they're talking about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And like, some people have, and then the other artists will drop a song, like, replying to that song.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
it's a convo.
Yeah.
It's a public debate.
Yeah. It gets like, what is it? The really big one that happened. What was her name? I know that she became really big. She's the one with the driver license song.
Olivia Rodrigo.
I never remember her name for some reason. And then that other girl from, like, they were
Sabrina.
Right. Those two. They had that back and forth. And then so Olivia dropped the song, and then the guy dropped the song.
Oh yeah, Joshua.
I don't know these guys' names. So he dropped. How do you know all these names? So he dropped a song. This is how I know I'm not that informed.
Yeah, so I'm in radio.
So anyway, so she dropped the song, right, and then he dropped the song, and then, you know, we all kind of let it go, right? It was kind of like a whole thing, and then Sabrina dropped her song.
Mm-hmm.
When Sabrina dropped her song, I joined her side. I was like, I'm on your side. Like, I don't care.
I mean, I wouldn't say pick sides.
I don't care about all this. I'm on her side.
You know.
Well, and it has nothing to do with who she is. It's just the fact that what the song says. That's what it comes down to. It's like this song.
I will remain neutral.
But it's definitely also eye opening because it shows
context.
What?
It shows context.
Yeah, no, it gives a better understanding, right?
Oh yeah,
of what was actually going on.
Yeah,
and she just blasts it out, and she even addresses all the hate she got from people because of it.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, there's always hate.
You know, no, because of these people dropping songs, she got all this hate because she didn't say anything about it.
Yeah, I know.
So she just dropped the song.
You know, you can try to remain neutral, but then people are like to poke.
Right, obviously,
which is a good thing and a bad thing because poking can be damaging. But poking also gives me content.
You know, back in the day on Facebook, you could poke people.
Yeah, I know.
And
don't poke me.
For the longest time, me and a friend. I mean, when I used to use Facebook, me and this friend, we used to just send pokes. We never did anything else but poke each other, just the entire time.
Weird.
Just on Facebook, and then one day we addressed it publicly. About
why are you poking me all the time?
Yeah, no. So she walks up. She goes, "Why are you always poking me all the time? Like, why are you always poking me all the time? You know who started this?" And she goes, "No, I didn't." I'm like, "If we could go back and check, you're the one who started this."
Poke.
Right. So it became a whole thing, and everybody just turned like us, like, "You use the poke feature on Facebook?" We're like, "Yeah."
It's like a little nudge, like, "Yo, I'm still alive.
Like, I'm here.
Didn't die."
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But you obviously, I mean, I also remember even the teachers got in on it. They're like, "You use the poke feature on it."
Yeah,
they were everybody's trying to figure out why I was using this feature. Does anybody really use this? Like, if I need to talk to you, I'm gonna just shoot you a message. I don't need to poke you to know if you're alive.
I've never used Facebook properly.
Oh yeah, well, because you're not a Facebook person.
No,
but you definitely use Instagram.
Yes. I've overused Instagram.
I feel like your generation is the Instagram generation.
I feel like my generation's media.
I mean, okay, because for me, I feel like Snapchat. Because we were like...
because there's people younger than me that use Facebook every day.
See, that's weird to me.
That's not weird to me, though.
I think it's based on your group of, your surroundings. Like, what your friends use.
Yeah.
Like, see, for me, it was Snapchat.
Yeah.
Because we were when Snapchat really became popular.
Fair enough.
We were when it kind of got picked up, right? So all of us were on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Like, Snapchat was the thing.
Fair enough.
And then,
see, I can't. That's why I just say media.
Yeah.
Because I know people that would use Snapchat more than Instagram.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, "Here's my Instagram." They'd be like, "Oh, I use Snapchat."
See, the thing is I use Snapchat. Like the way people use WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I use it to tag, talks, photo, all of it. I use Snapchat to its full capability. And it's insane. When's
the last time you've released a story?
See, that's the thing. I don't drop stories.
He's not using Snapchat.
See, I almost use Snapchat.
I've never, ever used the story feature
on Snapchat.
Wow. There's no reason to.
There's no what?
There's no reason to.
You can put links though, so you should.
I don't follow that many people. There's a select few.
You should get people to start following you.
No.
You should. You know what you should do? You should start a Snapchat show. I feel like that'd be the greatest thing ever.
Oh no.
You should get verified on Snapchat.
That beats that. You know what? If I did that, it'd be really good content.
I feel like it'd be the greatest. It'd be the greatest thing ever.
I feel like I don't need to.
It'd be the greatest content ever.
It wouldn't be censored though.
So,
you
should put an advisory photo every time. I didn't plan for this to happen. Whatever happens, this is just live. None of this is censored.
Yeah,
it's not even curated. It's just happening live.
So there's so many clips. There's so many random clips, especially in the radio room.
Oh, I mean, I've been in there.
But you've been with it tamed.
Yeah, I mean, even when it's tamed, it's a little,
No,
someone will say something stupid.
And, yes and no.
Make it who? Okay, so obviously I'm not gonna say his name, Remember when we were okay? So I went. Okay,
stop.
So, no, we were out.
Stop. You're gonna get me in trouble.
No, you're not gonna get in trouble.
Stop.
Because they're not in the program anymore. So it's not important. It's not important. So
in the program anymore?
Remember he left?
Which one?
You told me he left.
Which one?
Okay, so here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
So we were I went to go visit the college with him for I can't remember why. I think we were trying to get vlog content.
I don't know who you're talking about.
So we went.
There's only like 3 guys that left.
There was like 6 of them when we were there. Anyway, so we go to the college. We're hanging outside. We're just.
Oh, okay. I know.
Okay, so we're hanging outside.
Okay.
Right. There's 6 of us there.
Yeah.
Hanging outside. We get there, and we're kind of just talking.
Yeah.
And then this group of 2 guys walk over, and they're like, "We're gonna start a podcast," and you turn and look at me.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're trying to keep
everyone now knows exactly who you're talking about.
Okay. Well, that's on them. That's their fault.
Like, I'm not even. There's no way of hiding that.
Okay, so
everyone, because they're the only group of guys who would do such a thing.
Okay, so anyway,
and there's only one of them. Oh my gosh, you basically just yelled their name without directly yelling their name.
Okay, well, anyway,
how rude.
But this is
how
important.
rude.
But nobody knows who it is. Only they do. Like the rest of our audience doesn't know who they are.
Their name.
There's over 100 people. There's like 1,000 people who don't know who they are.
That's fair.
Still don't know who they are.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is this. Okay, so they're obviously, we look at each other, right?
Yeah.
And then one of them goes, I think it'd be funny if we just didn't censor it at all.
Yeah.
And then I turn to look at you.
Yeah.
and you go, well, maybe you should, be careful of what you say.
Yeah.
Like kind of be aware sort of thing. Understand like the rules and regulations of the internet.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of maybe stop talking, and then you go, and then
no, because see, when you did that, I wasn't thinking like I'm giving them too much information as to like why I know this.
Right.
It's more of like they aren't thinking at the fact that they're in radio and podcasting.
Right. Yeah.
So like this is gonna be their career.
Yeah.
I'm not saving them from knowing what we do.
Right.
It's more like saving them from like you're gonna don't make a mistake kind of
right
thing.
Of course, and that's like a kind of like a hard line to tread, especially when you're doing this, because sometimes
yeah,
you just
there's just people that are like, I've been thinking about starting a podcast, and I haven't told them what I do.
Yeah, I've had people reach out who want to start a podcast, but
yeah,
what I'm getting at is this, okay, is that it's just the way he said it.
Yeah,
it's gonna be completely unfiltered. I was like, whoa.
And it was. I got the raws.
You have them?
No, I don't have them. I know the guy who has them.
Oh, okay. How many episodes did they record?
I don't know, like 6.
Did they ever?
I don't think they ever went up.
Wow.
I think they only got to 3 or 2. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, I can get the raws. I can get the raws.
You can?
I can.
Wow, that's intense.
Not that I will, but I can.
Not that I will.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd rather let it burn.
Wow. What a good friend. You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, they agree.
They agree. It's complete rub. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, but they gained some form of experience.
I'm sure they learned how to use the equipment better.
They already knew how.
Imagine they were figuring it out.
Probably. I mean, the one thing, they didn't know how to edit properly yet, so.
Oh, okay. Didn't sound as crisp.
I mean, like, I gave them, like, maybe the basic 2 tips. Hard limiter, classic Sofny. That's it.
Yeah, you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Classic Sofny breaks most audio. So when you're trying to sync audio.
Well, that's just because of the method we use.
Yeah, the method we use, it doesn't really work.
And honestly, the method we use isn't the most efficient.
Of course not. But I'm not. Yeah. I'm not gonna get here. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you how I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because as I've been saying,
like, to be really real with you, all we need is like $2,000.
Like I've been saying,
to redo it.
I've been saying,
the more efficient way.
Again, like I've been saying, I don't know what I'm doing.
Exactly. But we know what we're doing.
It's complicated, but I feel better about it.
You're welcome.
I feel like you should wrap up. If I'm being, I don't know what this podcast has been. This is just.
Bye. No, kidding.
That's the wrap up.
Just like randomly, just like cut as soon as I like You know what I mean?
It's just like a black screen and the music playing out.
It's just like, okay, guys, and then just cut. I really want to do that. Did we do that the last time?
No, you tried and I said no.
Oh man, I really want to do that. Just randomly.
You know what I said we would do? I said we could do that with a vlog.
No, I said I wanted to do it with a podcast because it's just confuse everybody. Imagine you're just like you're on the bus or something. You know, you're just listening to me rant on about I don't know a flipping Pokemon, and then all of a sudden it's just. I'm kidding. We didn't actually leave. That was just a pause for the sake of pausing, but that would be so funny to do.
You just want the reaction of the people.
I just want the reaction of the people. Genuinely. Not that I'll see it or anything, but it's just like, I know what happened.
Well, look, now you can't do it because now they know.
No, they don't. They have no idea.
No, that's not going to happen. You just got like that.
No, but see, that's how it would be. They wouldn't even know it's coming. You know what I mean? I'm kidding. We're still here, guys.
That doesn't work. Okay, let's wrap up properly. Come on.
All right, guys. This has been Two Latin Brothers Podcast. Everything's always in the description, whether it be up, down, left, or right. Make sure to share with your grandmother, share with your rooster, share with your donkey, share with your chinchilla, share with your Donkey Kong again. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Bye.